We received a very warm welcome from Pato and Feli. We were able to spend 2 wonderful days with them and their family, including the traditional asado, of course. Feli and his father prepared half the goat expertly. We thought they used quite a bit of salt, but after 2.5 hours on the fire, it was super tender and simply delicious. Such hospitality is amazing. The northeast of the Neuquén region is wonderfully remote and offers mountains as well as some beautiful lakes. We had decided on the Laguna Ilafken, and we were glad that this bridge was strong enough for Globi, because we didn't quite trust the ford. The ground seemed too soft to us. Everything went really well. Not even a groan in the beams. A short time later we reached the lagoon. My goodness, such a beautiful place all to ourselves. But on a tour around the lake, we saw a lot of small rest areas and fireplaces. So we can imagine that it is a lot more populated here in summer and on a weekend. We were just lucky to have all of this wonderful nature to ourselves. But just lazing around is nothing for us. We used the time to remove the dust in the storage flaps again. It's one of the few cleaning jobs that Peter really enjoys doing. Simply connect the hose to the compressed air container and all the dust can be blown out. It is really necessary because quite a lot of dust accumulates when driving on the dirt roads. And then we also get visitors. A herd of goats walks past us on the way to their pastures. They obviously find Globi very interesting.
Die kommt Stege drauf.
We left the lagoon with a heavy heart, but we really wanted to go to Los Bolichos, an area with great sandstone formations. Even the drive there was a lot of fun. The area lies behind a range of hills in a large depression. We arrived at just the right time, late afternoon. There were no more day tourists and we could even use the parking lot as an overnight place. And of course, unpack the drone and look at the whole area from above. This almost unreal landscape with its towers, citadels and stone formations that almost look like the back of a million-year-old dinosaur lizard, or with the grandiose gorges and waves, is simply breathtaking. You really don't know where to look first. The valley is extremely spacious and you have to find your own way through the landscape. There are neither signposts nor indications where to go to individual, particularly beautiful formations. But that is also what makes this nature museum so charming. It's not marketed to death like so many other attractions in the Andes. The wonderful, soft light of the late afternoon immerses the hills in an almost mystical breath. The next morning, we rumbled back to the main road. We really haven't regretted this detour for a second, to make our way to Aqua Caliente. On the way, we asked at the Varvarco tourist office whether we could take Globi to the thermal bath. After a long discussion with several colleagues, we were told that we should probably stop in front of the larger gorges. We might still be able to cross the first bridge, but that's it. And that was wise advice. We actually made it to the first bridge, even though the road and the curves got more and more narrow. But as beautiful as the area is, the path became more and more difficult for Globi. And since we are capable of learning, we really turned around for once. And we were lucky. We were able to spend the night in a forest nearby. The next morning, we of course drove the way to the thermal bath with Ernstli, our quad. And we were really happy that we turned around with Globi yesterday, because there were a few places where it really wouldn't have gone any further. So today we enjoy the beautiful area very relaxed on the little one. The extremely deep gorges are particularly impressive, but I'm glad that we can drive without oncoming traffic. The road is definitely very narrow. And then we arrive already at the junction to the geysers. Further back in the hills, a hot river comes out of the earth and winds through the landscape. We were told that there should be a geyser. We are already curious, as we had been able to admire the namesake of all geysers in Iceland before. It's just a short hike from the parking lot down into the gorge. And here we have the little geyser already. It does not shoot out of the earth at intervals, but regularly all the time. The river valley is super idyllic and we enjoy all of it. On the way back, we can look at the gorges again from the other side. Very nice too. As we leave the Neuquén region, we see a cattle drive next to the road. Cows and a couple of horses are driven to another pasture. To do this, they have to cross the street. but that's not really a problem here, the traffic is limited. And if someone does come, he'll be careful. Bye bye, Neuquén.